Hello, nonfiction and STEM fans. This is Kirsten Larson. I am the author of Woodwire Wings, Emma, Lily, and Todd Invents an Airplane. And today I'm here with another nonfiction or STEM book review. Today I am talking about this amazing book. It's called This is a Book to Read with a Worm. It's by Jodi Wheeler-Toppen, illustrated by Margaret McCartney. And here's what I love about this book. This book is essentially the scientific process and scientific inquiry in a book. It challenges students to not just read the book, but get a worm and do all the different observations and different tasks that Jodi Wheeler-Toppen describes. So I'll show you what I mean. The book begins, "Dear reader, there's nothing like the excitement of a backyard worm hunt. We hide in the soil like buried treasure. When you find me, please remember that I am a living thing. Treat me gently and don't do anything to hurt me. When we're done reading this book, put me back where you found me. Thanks a bunch, Worm." So, I love this. They show a copy of the book cover. Stop. To read this book, you are going to need a worm. Okay, so it encourages tells the child where to find a worm, all the different places they could look. And then, I love this part, there's a little talking worm on each spread. This kind of reminds me of Melissa Stewart's No Monkeys, No Chocolate, where she had some talking bookworms. So on each page, this bookworm gives you some more information, this worm, and this worm tells you all the different things you need to do the experiments, like you'll need a piece of paper, a cotton ball soaked in alcohol, and some other things. But essentially, each spread tells you something to do with your worm and what you can observe about the worm. So for example, on the first spread, it says lay your worm out on a dry paper towel and explains why you need wet paper towel, and why you need a wet paper towel and not a dry one so you can keep your worm moist, because that's how they get oxygen through their skin. And then it gives you the first task. So you're going to run your finger across the worm's back and you can feel bumps. And if you feel bumps, then you know it's an adult, and it tells you that this is the clitellum. Those are what the bumps are. Then there's another task. It helps you find your worm's head. You use a flashlight to see how worms respond to light and dark. So this is essentially scientific inquiry in a book. Each page, in a classroom, I could see a teacher reading this book to students and then stepping them through the different tasks and engaging in the scientific observations with their students. Parents, you could do the same thing at home. This is really such a brilliant book. It kind of reminds me of You're Invited to a Mothball by Larry Griffin Burns, which is another wonderful hands-on book. And of course, at the end, you have to return your worm to the wild. It's time for your worm to go home. Take the bottle back to the place where you found your worm. Dump the dirt out, worm and all. Before your worm slips away, bid it goodbye, wish it well, and thank it for helping you read this book. And then the worm says, "So long. Thanks for taking good care of me." So I highly recommend this book. This is a book to be read with a worm by Jodi Wheeler-Toppen, illustrated by Margaret McCartney.